The National September 11th Memorial and Museum commissioned pop artist Charles Fazzino to create a limited edition artwork to memorialize the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Charles Fazzino's painting, entitled 9/11, A Time of Remembrance, is an homage to all those affected by the 9/11 attacks, including victims, survivors, and heroes. Charles, it is so great to have you back on Great Day Washington. I'm sure you've been pretty busy over the last few years since we've seen you.
It's been crazy, Kristen. I've been so busy, especially with COVID and so forth, creating new pieces for the upcoming shows that now I'm starting to do.
You are coming back in person. We get to see your work in person, but remind everybody what your style is, your pop art, 3D art. How did this all come to be?
Yes, if you haven't seen my work before, people say it's like a pop-out children's book. It literally comes off the canvas or off whatever I'm drawing. As you know, when I did the All-Star game in Washington, I had those helmets that were all hand-painted that were popping off in 3D. I call it sort of, it's a construction. The artwork is cut out, hand-painted, and built up in layers. I call it layering like a lasagna. And it's in multi-layers, all hand cut out, a lot of hand work.
It's truly incredible work, and I can't imagine the time and detail and focus that it takes to create these. You were recently commissioned to create a piece commemorating the 20th anniversary of 9/11. What is this piece about, and how did this come to be?
Well, the artwork is really, it's 20 years later, as everyone knows, and it was a horrific, horrible event for the world, but mostly, obviously, in New York and in Washington. And I wanted a piece that was sort of going to be reminiscent of the people and their resilience, especially here in New York, of overcoming and this horrible event. And the piece that I created really, I wanted it to have this ethereal feeling to it. I wanted the towers to be there, but they're not there. It's sort of a mirage in the piece. And then all of New York I built up around it. It was created in two different styles of color and one sort of in black and white. And it's a beautiful piece that really pays homage to all the heroes, the survivors, and everyone who has helped since then and who have been affected by 9/11, even now, years later.
It's an incredible piece, and it's going to be hanging up in the museum, right?
Yes, the piece is actually already up at the museum, and there is another piece that I created 20 years ago, and that was of that day, and that piece is also in their permanent collection. And the cool thing about this project is that, I was just so humbled to be able to be invited to be commissioned to do this project, was that there's a fundraiser component also. A portion of the proceeds of purchasing one of these limited editions, a portion of it is going to go back to the museum to sort of further its mission of helping people never to forget.
Yeah, we never want to forget, and that's incredible, and to be a part of helping that as well. On top of the 9/11, you created something special for Washington, D.C., and we'll get to see both these pieces in person, right?
Yes, at the shows that I'm going to have in Washington at Tyson's Corners and Montgomery Mall next following week, I'm going to be introducing my new piece on Washington, D.C. And it's really a fun piece. It really centers in on all of the highlights of Washington. And, I've been coming to Washington for many years. I almost feel like when I'm there, I'm like I'm at home. So many collectors of my artwork live in the Washington, D.C. and Virginia area. And this piece really has, the focal point obviously is the Washington Monument, and then all the very famous places and museums and the promenade along the middle of the piece. And then the outside goes out to fun places that everyone knows in Washington, D.C., like, Ben's Chili and, everything from different restaurants that that I frequent when I'm down there, to the best hotels, like the Mandarin Oriental or the Four Seasons, and all the great hotels that are in the area. So it's really a piece that if you from Washington, this is a piece that you can look at it forever. I must have drew about 300 to 400 buildings in the piece. And also the Pentagon is focal point in the front of the piece, also to pay homage to that.
It's amazing. The time and everything that you put into these pieces is so incredible. And I'm glad that you're going to be back in our area and we get to really kind of see it all up close and in person. Charles, congrats on everything. So good to see you again.
Thank you so much. Nice seeing you, Kristen.
It's just incredible. As we mentioned, Charles will be in town next week for 2 showings at Wentworth Galleries, Saturday, September 25th at Tyson's Galleria, and Sunday, September 26th at Montgomery Mall. For more information and to see more of Charles's work, just go to Fazzino.com.